Hello and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, but not Hearts of Iron 3. No, for a change of pace, I'm going to be playing a small amount of Hearts of Iron 4 as Japan. Now, it's been a pretty long time since I last played a game of Hearts of Iron 4. Just a bit of background on sort of my experience of the game. I've got about 60 hours, and pretty much all of that is with base game Hearts of Iron 4. I haven't played... So I have the season, or I had the season pass, which got you all the DLC, I think, for like... I think originally when it came out it was the first two DLC, but I think it ended up being everything up until La Resistance. There's my bit of dodgy French there. And I've bought that DLC in preparation for this, really. Just because I want to see how the game has progressed. I haven't played any Man the Guns, and I heard that was a pretty major update. Now, I have in the sort of off-screen, I played a little bit of just a bit of a Portugal run-through, but I wouldn't even call it a run-through. I played about a year, and I sent some volunteers to Spain. I went fairly historical, and I'm going to be playing pretty historical again. I'm not the biggest fan of the old alternative history thing that they do in this game. I mean, I do like it because I like the fact it adds more opportunities and, you know, different ways of playing things, makes the world more random. But I think for this campaign, I'm just going to play sort of normal. And then we've got a few little issues up here, including an inter-service rivalry mechanic, which will be really interesting. We've got the London Naval Signatory, which makes our ships a little bit more expensive, I think. Militarism, which, that's. I mean, so there's a war support mechanic now, much like Europa Universalis 4 and 3, I believe. So that's interesting. As you can tell, I'm going to be very much reliant on you guys in the comments telling me how to play this. Because I might be good at Hearts of Iron 3. You know what? I'll stretch myself. I'm very good at Hearts of Iron 3 Black Ice. But this is very much outside of my realms of understanding. So we are led by the Taisai Yukul Sankai, encompassing a variety of ultranationalist movements. Fascism typically ventures or venerates devotion to the state and unifying of the people under a strong leader, and I believe that's what we have here under Hirohito. It gives us a 60% stability buff, which is cool, and I now there's a stability buff in the game. So yeah, playing as Japan, because I thought this would give me a good opportunity to go for the naval stuff as well. So let's make our way through this. I'm just gonna quickly, is there a way to change the sound? Audio. Yeah, let's turn the music down just a tad. Yeah, that's a bit better. It felt like I was being drowned out there just by music. Okay, so regular. I'm going to play it on, and I'm going to take Iron Man mode off, just because I'm doing this as a... This is almost a fresh start for me in playing this. I've not played this game in such a long time that it'll be interesting to get involved. Hello, and welcome back. I'm terribly sorry there. It looks like my recording cut out, but you didn't miss anything. I immediately caught it. But anyway, all I was saying on that last point was that my most successful campaign as Japan was on Victoria 2, and I've never really played it sort of outside of that. I played a campaign of Japan on Black Ice, on Hearts of Iron 3, but struggled a little bit. And I think we've got a whole load of songs. Oh, we've got Hearts of Iron Classic. Can turn the music up in here. Oh, very nice. Well, I'm going to leave the classic Hearts of Iron music on. And let's have a look. So we've got about 400,000 tons of fuel. So I've seen this in the Portugal campaign. And because I didn't have much of a standing naval or air force, you know, it wasn't exactly 100% clear how this would work. But we're gaining 1k fuel. I assume that's a day, because everything's working on days. We've only got 52 factories, which is quite low. I was expecting slightly more than that. But we've got a pretty decent manpower pool, you know, over 1 million men. That's useful. And a very good war support. Wow, that's impressive. Oh, sorry, pardon me. I had to have a quick drink there. bit of stability as well, so 95% stable, which is good. And we're gaining just under 2 political power a day. So of all of these things, I'm probably only really up together with factories, manpower, and political power. Some of these things are new, and I haven't really had much of a chance to get used to them. We've got some decisions available. Lots of decisions, so we can do some paramilitary training. Which just gives... Okay, so it gives them a buff, I think, for fascism support and a little bit of army experience gain. So I'm not that bothered by that at the moment. Army-wise, what have we got? We've got a army in Manchukuo, which has no organisation currently, so I'll need to build an organisation for that. We've got an army in mainland Japan, and then a sort of naval army here, which they're just, you know, island garrisons by the looks of it. So nothing crazy. What are we dealing with naval-wise? There's probably an easier way to do this. Let's have a look at the research. So we've got 4 4 research slots. Let's have a little look at those. So, basic machine tools. That's a good one. As is the mechanical engineering. And we've already got synthetic stuff, which is really good. That's positive. Construction 1. I mean, is that worth getting at the moment? 77 days seems like a lot. What's quicker? Not a lot is quicker. We've got base strike. That's our focus for naval. Naval, we've got a few things. I mean, you'd think that we would have 1936 destroyers as Japan. That seems a bit backwards, but oh well. But we have a lot of sort of basic... So we're struggling a little bit on our damage and fire control methods, but we've got a lot of the sort of basic techs here with secondary battery things. So I'm pretty happy with our naval tech. I think we should get that 1918 tech. What about tanks? So the Type 94, we haven't got the Type 95. I personally think we should grab the Hargo. Battlefield support. So this one looks like it might be the Soviet one. I reckon this one is the German field. And then I think this one's probably the American one. But this one has naval strike tactics. So this will probably be the one that we want to go down. Let's get tanks going to the next level. Right, and we can select a national focus. So, okay. So we're not doing the unthinkable option. We're not going communist. I'm not sure which one of these is historical, just looking at it off, you know, the top of my head. I don't think we would strengthen the civilian government, because that sounds like it would take us democratic. Yes. Yes, rekindle the old alliance, Pacific Guardian, yeah. So that's obviously a democratic route. So it's one of these two. And I believe, I could be wrong on this, but I think the young officer coup was defeated. So I reckon this is probably the historical one where we gain this 10% base stability. This one gives us more political power, so it might be better. Let's have a little look down, just see what we get through doing this. So this one we get some building slots, a couple of civilian factories, national research policy, so that's a research slot, that's good. Marco Polo Ridge or Bridge Incident, that's a big one. So yeah, I reckon let's have a little look and let's do this one. Let's gain some more stability. Right, let's build What have we got to build? We could do some infrastructure. Or we can just build some civilian factories immediately. Let's get some civilian factories rolling. Now, military factories wise, let's build up our equipment because we are suffering from a few shortages. And we could do with some more fighters. How many do we have? We have 16, so you know what? Let's get a surplus of fighters going. And we're building a lot of ships. The Congo class. Okay, and some more just converted carriers. Okay, we don't care about those decisions. Let's dismiss that. We could do with 10 aluminium. So let's have a look. France, you have a lot of it. Ideally, we want to trade with someone who we won't be at war with. So I think Yugoslavia here. Let's go with them. And then rubber for 6. And I think Siam, you're looking like a good bet. Now, we have no divisions in basic training. So what can we get? Tanks? Speaking of which, do we have any tank divisions? Is there a way for me just to sort of see my logistical situation? Okay, so we've got an ability to prioritize fuel for certain branches, which is good. We can recruit and deploy. We've got our production queue, our construction queue, trade, diplomacy, intelligence. Aha, right. So we want to create an agency. What do we think would represent Japan? I mean, that looks very, the rising sun and everything, so I think we'll go with that. Section 3, is that what they were called in real world? I don't know whether or not I can change this once I've named it, but let's go with the GIP, or GIA. That's the Japanese Intelligence Agency. Yeah, you see? Coming up with good names. Or, you know, Section 3. I mean, I quite like that, to be honest. Maybe the Grand Imperial Army? Or Intelligence Agency? Agency? No. The Grand Intelligence Agency. Oh, I don't know. No, I'll keep it as Section 3, and then if you guys have got a good name idea, you can just comment it, and then, you know, come up with that, and I will quite happily name it that. Okay, so let's just build, I think, some basic... Let's have a look at these guys. So 24 combat width. So I know that 20 and 40 used to be good. So what about you guys? 24 again. I mean, these templates don't look too bad. Infantry with tanks, that's not great. I don't know what that is. That's a cavalry division? Mm. And then you're just basic garrisons. Okay, let's just build some of these slightly dodgy... and set them on low equipment priority. Let's put that on high and that on high. Pardon me. Let's put the garrisons on low. Put that on medium. I'm quite happy with that. And then let's just add some units. We'll build 2 at a time. And then we've got some unassigned divisions. But we do have our recruitment. I've got our espionage agency to handle soon. So, yeah, let's take all of my divisions that are on the mainland and form them into an army. They're not exactly impressive, are they? Oh, you need to go in. Oh, and there's a tank division in the arse end of nowhere. That's strange. Okay, now you guys... So there's 31 divisions in this group. You know what? I'm actually going to take the Korean army divisions and form you into your own little command. Or in fact, yeah. Let's have all of our crappier units. There we go, that's a little bit more even. So we've got all of our good units now here. Now on the mainland we've got another couple of relatively decent units. Now let's give some commanders. So, you guys. We have Tomoyuki Yashisatsuma. God, I really apologise in advance to anyone that's Japanese. I don't think I have any Japanese viewers, but this guy's not too bad. And he's a brilliant strategist, so I will take him, I think. This guy, who will command our more crappier troops, who's an old guard. I think that sounds good for someone that isn't exactly brilliant. And then our home command individual, Samurai Lineage. Well, that's a cool little thing. I'm not sure, it doesn't seem to get any buffs for that, but and we've got a couple of quite cautious. Here we go, this guy, he'll do the job. Okay, and this guy would probably make a fairly decent field marshal because of the fact that he offers a better supply consumption decrease. So let's give this guy the command. Right, so that all forms the home islands. These units, which are all second rate, you guys can all form into your own army, and then let's give them another pretty crappy commander. Infantry officer, that could be useful. Media personality. I just want someone that's, you know, relatively crap. Like this guy. I mean, honestly, we don't want him anywhere near, like, actual proper command. Okay, so that'll do. We've now at least got some basic organisation ready. Let's put time on. Let's put it on 5. Okay, so Siam isn't fulfilling their total end of the bargain, but they are still doing what we required, which was a minimum of 6. So that's fine. Ooh, okay. So, we're missing 3 infantry equipment. What a shame. Yeah, let's just... I imagine that will disappear, won't it? Where's that happening? don't think that's a big worry. The only other things that I didn't have a look at were our Air Force. So what have we got? I think these are carrier planes, right? Yeah, they're all carrier planes. Oh, no, we don't want to... These are more carrier planes. So they're all carrier planes. What have you got? Aha. So we've got 72 fighters and close air support, tactical bombers. Some more fighters there. But again, those are carrier variants. Okay, so realistically, we've got you guys. So I'm just going to reserve them. What else have we got? Here, they're all carrier based. They're all carrier based as well. Okay, so we don't actually have a huge amount of planes when you take away our carrier Air Force. And then we've got another few planes there. But not that many. I was expecting slightly more, so... Yeah, I was expecting more than what we've got there. Now, Navy-wise, what have we got? This will be probably our best asset. So, we've got a squadron here, which was purely a coastal defense ship and a couple of old light cruisers. In fact, if I just highlight all of it... did that not work? If you shift-click, there we go. Oh, you actually have to be at a certain level. That's a bit cruddy. Right, is that it? I think that's all of our ships. So, we've got a couple of heavy cruisers, light cruisers, 2 battleships. You'll have to tell me if there's an easier way to access this. So, county ships, got a carrier here. Another battleship. Another carrier. Another couple of carriers, couple of battle cruisers. Okay, so a pretty decent navy, all things considered. Right, and let's get our beautiful intelligence agency formed. Command power. I'm not sure what drives that up. Something drives it up. This is going to be one hell of a learning experience. Okay. So, we're now recruiting an operative, and there's an option to become a spy master. Oh, I can upgrade stuff. So this stuff at the bottom looks moderately useful. Naval department would be good. I imagine the cryptology team might be useful. So let's form this department here. So we start working on our own defense. And we're still missing this infantry equipment. I'm still a bit confused, you know, what that means, but just let it happen. Abandon the naval treaties. That looks like it might be relatively important. So we've got an option to abandon them completely. So it removes the spirit of the London Naval Treaty. And it means that we don't have to worry about our ship construction costs. Whereas, or we can just cheat on the treaty. And there's a naval conference going on. So if I just... will anyone care? If I just abandon this? I'm just going to you know, let that run. I mean, part of me thinks we should just do it. We're doing it. I don't imagine that will cause much to go wrong. And I'm going to bung a little bit more into the building of our Congo-class battleships. And we're still purging that other faction to get us just even more stability. Right, bung it into the ships. Okay, so we've got a ability to get someone, so we can get a seducer. Ooh, baby. So tough. Enemy operative intel extraction rate. And then these two don't have any things. I think we should get this person because they got 2 traits. Now, I can add them to somewhere, can I? So we can defend against subversive attacks in our homeland. I think that's a good idea. And I reckon we should get the radio interception group. Or maybe we should get the government cipher school. Yeah, let's do that. And then we've got no available slots with which to recruit someone. And it's saying that we're not, like, decrypting anyone. Let's, yeah, we'll decrypt China. There we go. We're a little bit light on steel, but it's only 1. And we're about to get that decrease. So let's put it on speed 3. Okay, so we can get some civilian factories and some factory output. Or we can build up our... This way, we don't seem to have like an industry tree. Let's have a little look at industry and see where we get things. So we get this one where we get a few extras and nationalize the war industry. So that immediately drops all the way straight down. We don't get to do any of those because we haven't gone communist. Okay. And I can't do that one now. So these ones are locked off. So it's these techs here. So we get the Manchurian project and some infrastructure. And we gain some stuff from that. Yeah, not a huge amount of extra civilian factories. Okay, let's do the Manchurian project. Because it just means that they get a little bit of support. And there's our defense. So we're up to 5% on the old world tension bar. That's not too bad. Hopefully I'm doing alright at this so far. As I say, I'm not really sure if there's a good way of doing this. Although I feel like we should have our tank divisions that are over here relocated. Along with any semi-motorized infantry. Like this unit here. Let's relocate them. Off you go. Right, and now I know that I can set front lines, but at the moment I'm just gonna take a little look at our infantry. So we've got a lot of second-rate troops here. These are all relatively first-rate, although these cavalry divisions, I have to wonder whether or not they're actually worth anything. Very much debating that. Let's give the cavalry over. Have we got any cavalry officers that are good with cavalry? I mean, this guy could be good. He's reckless, but... Ah, he's a cavalry officer. Yeah, let's give that guy all the cavalry. And then have him form a front line here. Oh, that's good. Then let's have this laddie form a front line. Yeah, like there. That makes a lick of sense. Then you can have all of your crap units do maybe garrison work. I don't know how to set that. Aha, here we go. Right, so let's do with this guy. Yeah, I mean, all of that makes sense, really. And then can I just tick? Aha, I can. Right. Can I untick? Yeah, I can untick. Right, we'll just untick anywhere that's not really relevant. We don't want to, like, suffocate the supply anywhere, so... Yeah, this was the drug abuser, wasn't it? Right, then in the homeland, have we got any other decent units? Like, yep, you... And I'm thinking them again. Aha, right, there's a slight tech increase. Now, I lean towards one of them, but I'm not sure what. Part of me thinks the construction just might be better, so let's do that. And why have we got a -1? -1 from militarism. And then one of our laws having a bit of an adverse effect. You're moving. And you can't move for some strange reason. Okay, we'll just move him like so. Yeah, let's take all of these. Move them into position. if we can, or is a lack of fuel the reason why I can't do that? It is not clear. We can do some training though. So that might be worth doing. And I think I'll call it an episode here. So thank you very much for watching. Look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thanks again. Bye bye.